We've got so much to talk about in today's video. One of the best PlayStation 5 games has finally had a PS5 Pro update. We've got a massive game like Titanfall potentially in the works, cancelled. Lots of little projects cancelled, hundreds of devs out of work. Another new game people were looking forward to has been pushed back, and updates on GTA 6's release date, and so much more to discuss in today's video. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We have more gaming and PlayStation news, rumours and leaks to go over. As always, a huge shout out to the God of War and Uncharted channel members. And if you enjoyed today's video, please show your appreciation and support by hitting that like button. Right then, let's start off by talking about some really exciting news for fans of Returnal. It's now been 4 years since Housemarque's critically acclaimed roguelike Returnal was first released for the PlayStation 5. To celebrate this milestone, the developer has rolled out a special update tailored specifically for the PS5 Pro. And while Housemarque hasn't gone into deep detail about the technical changes, they've confirmed on social media that the update significantly enhances the game's visual quality. In fact, it offers up to 2.5 times the pixel count when played on the PS5 Pro compared to the base PlayStation 5 version. That means a sharper, higher resolution image that should look noticeably better on 4K displays. Originally released on April the 30th, 2021, Returnal quickly became a standout title thanks to its fast-paced gameplay, sci-fi atmosphere, and innovative use of the PlayStation 5's features like haptic feedback and 3D audio. Later on, it made its way to PC, broadening its audience even further. One of the things that made Returnal look so impressive back in 2021 was the way it cleverly used image enhancement techniques like temporal reconstruction and checkerboarding to deliver 4K visuals while maintaining smooth performance. Now, with this PS5 Pro patch, those visuals are getting an even cleaner, crisper presentation, although we'll need some hands-on testing and deeper technical breakdowns, possibly from the guys over at Digital Foundry. They are considered the benchmark, the gurus, the best at doing all this technical breakdown stuff. So we need those guys to break it down for us so we can fully understand just how far the upgrade goes. This update also sets the stage nicely for Housemarque's next big title, Saros, which was officially revealed during Sony's February 2025 State of Play showcase. Now, the game is currently in development for PS5 and expected to push the system's hardware even further, especially with the added muscle of the PlayStation 5 Pro in mind. So if you own a PS5 Pro and haven't returned to Returnal for a while, now might be a great time to dive back in and experience it with sharper visuals and improved fidelity. If you've never played Returnal and you own a PS5 Pro, what a great excuse to go out and get the game and enjoy it in all of its majestic glory. Okay, let's move on to talk about Max Payne. Remedy Entertainment has shared a promising update on the remakes of Max Payne and Max Payne 2: The Fall of Max Payne. According to CEO Tero Vitala, both titles have now entered full production and are making solid progress across multiple development areas. They're not just visual touch-ups either, these are full remakes being built from the ground up with a production scale and budget similar to Alan Wake 2. That's a pretty big deal, especially considering Alan Wake 2 was one of Remedy's most ambitious projects to date. In a recent published business review covering the first quarter of 2025, Remedy reported a strong financial performance. Their revenue jumped up by over 24% compared to the same period last year, totaling 13.4 million euros. A significant chunk of that came from development fees related to Control 2 and the Max Payne remakes, as well as continued royalties from Alan Wake 2, which has now surpassed 2 million copies sold. Vitala also confirmed that Remedy has returned to profitability in Q1 of 2025, which not only reflects solid sales, but also shows that their long-term strategy is paying off. As for Control 2, that project officially moved into full production back in February 2025 and is progressing smoothly towards its next phase of development. It's worth noting that Remedy tends to take its time with development, prioritizing quality and innovation. So while we don't have an official release date for Control 2 or the Max Payne remakes just yet, the fact that they're in full swing is encouraging news for fans of those games. It's been years since I played a Max Payne game. I think the last time I played Max Payne was Max Payne 2 back on the PlayStation 2. I remember the original Max Payne game. It released around 2001 and it was widely credited with introducing the bullet time as a key gameplay mechanic in video games. And while the concept of slowed down action sequences existing in films, most famously one of the greatest movies ever made, which was The Matrix in 1999, Max Payne was one of the first video games to successfully implement bullet time in a playable format. The feature allowed players to slow down time during gunfights, giving them a tactical advantage by dodging bullets and landing precise shots while maintaining a cinematic, stylish feel. Max Payne wasn't literally the first game to ever use slow motion mechanics. However, Max Payne games did popularize the feature in gaming and made it a standard in many action titles that followed. I really love those games and look forward to seeing them remade completely from the ground up, especially on the PS5 Pro with its bells and whistles. Let me know if you have any early memories of the Max Payne games, and let's move on. Now, Lost Souls aside, that game has been in the spotlight for quite some time now, and not always for the best of reasons. Originally planned for release on May the 30th of this year, Lost Soul aside has once again been delayed. The new release date is now set for August the 29th, and while delays are nothing new in gaming, this particular game has had a long and winding journey that started over a decade ago. What makes Lost Soul aside interesting is that it actually began as a passion project. It was created by just one developer, somebody called Yang Bing, who was heavily inspired by the Final Fantasy games, in particular Final Fantasy 15. He shared some early footage online and the response was overwhelming. It wasn't long before Sony took notice and brought the game into its China Hero project, an initiative aimed at helping indie developers in China bring their games to global audiences. Now, fast forward several years, and what started as a solo project has evolved into a full-scale production under Ulti-Zero Games, who are a Chinese game development studio, with Bing still heading up the project. The game blends flashy, high-speed sword combat reminiscent of Devil May Cry, with the sleek aesthetic and character design you'd expect from a Final Fantasy game. The main character, Kaiser, has drawn a lot of comparisons to Noctis, the lead from Final Fantasy 15. In a statement about the delay, Yang Bing explained that the team simply needed more time to polish the game and meet the high standards that they've set for themselves. And that's understandable. While delays can be frustrating, they often lead to a better final product. After all, this is a title that has spent years in development, shifting from PS4 to PS5 and even adding PC to its release lineup. It's clear that Ulti-Zero wants to make sure Lost Soul aside lives up to the hype. Personally, for me, it's not that big of a deal that this game is delayed. I mean, it was scheduled to release in May. It's been pushed back by around 3 months. That's okay. That gives the studio the time to polish the game. It's only 3 months. And with the games that we've had this year, it's actually a bit of a relief, if I'm being totally honest with you. I mean, does anyone else feel like they're drowning in games that they just cannot get to? I mean, I haven't even had the chance to complete Assassin's Creed Shadows. Haven't touched Forza Horizon 5 on the PS5. That's out this week. Days Gone Remaster, Oblivion Remaster, Expedition 33. I haven't even touched those games. And we've got Doom, The Dark Ages coming out in 2 weeks. So much to play. So in a way, I'm relieved that it's pushed back by 3 months. We'll get a better product. And yeah, looking forward to the game. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and let's move on. Even though Rockstar Games hasn't officially confirmed a release date, the anticipation surrounding GTA 6 is huge, and it's already affecting how other studios are scheduling their releases. Gamers, analysts, and even rival developers are trying to predict when the game will launch, and something we might be getting closer to that reveal than we realize. For instance, Sony recently announced that Ghost of Yotai will launch on October the 2nd, 2025. This caught the attention of fans because Sony is expected to be the primary marketing partner for GTA 6. That could mean they have insider knowledge of when Rockstar plans to release the game, and they're scheduling their own titles to avoid the clash. Other clues are coming from 2K Games, the publisher behind the Mafia series and a subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive, the same parent company as Rockstar Games. Their upcoming title, Mafia: The Old Country, is targeting a mid-2025 release window. Coincidence? Maybe not. And then there's Borderlands 4. That game's launch date was quietly moved up from September the 26th to September the 12th. Some fans believe that this could be another sign that publishers are trying to get their releases out of the way before the marketing machine behind GTA 6 kicks into full gear. But not everyone agrees. Randy Pitchford, head of Gearbox, which develops the Borderlands games, insists that the change of date has nothing to do with GTA 6. Yeah, right. I'd like to see Borderlands launch in the same week as GTA 6. Borderlands would get annihilated Anyway, according to Randy, the decision was based entirely on how development was going, bug fixes, internal deadlines, and overall readiness. And while that might be true, it's hard to ignore the pattern forming across the gaming industry. At the very least, it shows just how massive of an impact GTA 6 is already having before we even know when it's dropping. Well, clearly Sony knows roughly when GTA 6 is going to drop. They would have had months, if not years of planning to arrange for all of the worldwide marketing that they are going to be doing. And don't forget, Sony will be pushing GTA 6 and PlayStation Pro bundles. And then of course you've got Borderlands being moved forward to avoid a certain period in the calendar. Just goes to add more fuel to the fire that these studios and these publishers, they know something that we don't. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the GTA 6 date. When do you think it's going to be dropping? This year, of course. Anyway, let's move on to some unfortunate news from EA. EA has confirmed that it's cutting hundreds of jobs as part of a wider company restructure. The hardest hit appears to be Respawn Entertainment, the team behind popular games like Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Apex Legends, and the original Titanfall series. According to reports from Bloomberg, between 300 to 400 employees have been laid off in total, with about 100 coming from Respawn alone. As part of those cuts, the studio has cancelled 2 early-stage projects. One of those was apparently a Titanfall-related title that was going to be an extraction shooter, a genre that blends survival and combat elements similar to games like Escape from Tarkov or The Finals. EA released a statement saying that these changes are part of their long-term strategy, aimed at focusing resources on projects with stronger growth potential. In simple terms, they're trying to shift their priorities to what's expected to make the most money or impact in the future. So basically, existing established IPs. They're not going to take any risks with new IPs. That's basically what it means. Respawn has also released their own message thanking the affected employees for their creativity and contribution to the studio. They mentioned that support is being offered to those impacted, including looking for other opportunities within EA. This is yet another reminder of how volatile the gaming industry can be. Even successful studios like Respawn are not immune to shifting priorities and cost-cutting moves. Always sad to see games get cancelled, studios closing, and even devs being let go. Let's hope all those impacted find new opportunities in the near future. Okay guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.